Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. It's a long time since last time. Anyway, Aristotle claimed there is 3 legal ways to appeal to an audience and persuade them. The legal ones being threats, blackmail, intoxicating them and so forth. The 3 legal ones are logos, to appeal to their logic and persuade them with reasoning. Pathos, to appeal to their emotions and persuade with their own love, hatred, fears and so on. And ethos, the credibility of the speaker. The examples my teachers gave was that if a random person told you to add washing soap into your food, you would scoff at the suggestion. But if someone like Gordon Ramsay suggested it, plenty of people would do as he said because he's Gordon shouting Ramsay. According to my teachers, these 3 methods are the cornerstones of rhetoric, the art of persuasion. Today it is everywhere in advertisements and propaganda. However, today's focus is on the YouTuber Thomas Sanders, and more particularly his series Sandersites. Sandersites is a series where Thomas delves into his problems and comes to solutions by discussing with aspects of himself. I like this series as I often solve my personal problems in a similar manner. I also enjoy the humor employed in these videos. I highly recommend watching the series. Now, if you haven't already watched any of these videos, be warned it might leave you more emotional than you would expect. When it comes to the cast of characters, there is Princey, also known as Roman, Thomas's fanciful side, his dreams, hopes, romance and creativity. Anxiety, Virgil, Thomas's fears, worries and has played the role of the villain in many episodes. Maybe too many. Logic, named Logan, Thomas's reasoning, knowledge, scholarly interests, etc. And morality, called Patton. Thomas's morals, many of his emotions and his love for dad jokes. I really enjoyed this series, and the only thing that bothers me about it, besides the understandable wait between each episode, is this. Where is ethos? Where is the credibility of the speaker? For the last 3 years of my life, I've been drilled with rhetoric by school. And it bothers me far more than reasonable that this holy trinity of persuasion is not completed. There is logic and emotion, but no credibility. In Thomas's defense, I understand why there is no ethos. First of all, when you think about aspects of your own personality, what influences your actions, you wouldn't think about credibility and influence of others as part of yourself. Then there is the fact that in the series where Thomas is standing in a room alone talking to himself, others and their influence and credibility wouldn't come into effect that much. Also, credibility doesn't have much to say unless someone is trying to impose their will on someone else. However, after being bothered by this for far too long, I've thought of some ideas for a new character based on ethos. Maybe even call him Ethan. If a new character in the series is even possible, isn't much of a problem, as it has been said in the Q&A that there are other characters, that there will be more revealed. However, there might already be characters that cover the bases I imagine ethos would have, that exist but have yet to be revealed. First of all, a character based simply on credibility others have wouldn't have much to do, nor much effect. However, we could go a different but similar route. People in plural have a higher measure of credibility. Thus, humans feel a need to conform to the norms, beliefs and behaviors of society. We humans like to think that because many believes something to be true, it has to be true. Everyone can't be wrong. Of course, everyone can easily be wrong. For instance, everyone knows that in the old days most people believed the Earth to be flat. Christopher Columbus challenged this belief and set sail to prove the Earth was round. However, this is not true at all. Humans had been aware of the Earth's curvature for a long time, particularly sailors, since they could see the curve of the horizon and see how the top of mountains were the first to poke up behind the horizon. Christopher Columbus wasn't trying to prove the Earth was round, he was trying to prove that going west would be a faster route to India than going around Europe, Africa and half the coast of Asia. Regardless, most people today believe that the people long ago thought the Earth was flat. They believe this because that is what everyone else believes. Everyone believes that before people thought the Earth was flat. There is also plural ignorance. This is when nobody reacts to a situation because no one else is reacting. The individual then thinks that there is no reason to react because no one else is reacting. For instance, in the 1960s at Columbia University, there was an experiment where test subjects would sit in a waiting room and answer a questionnaire while smoke was filling the room. The smoke was reported when the test subjects were alone in the room. Because smoke, fire, that's not safe. However, if someone else was in the room and did not react to the smoke, the test subjects would only report the smoke in 1 out of 10 tests. Because the other person in the room reacted as if the smoke was normal and safe. We could make this character a combination of the forces within the individual who does such things. A character that would try to prevent Thomas from doing weird and abnormal things. A character that tries to keep Thomas to the norms of society and try to make him not stand out. I imagine such a character would be relevant considering Thomas is part of the LGBTQ+ community. The character would probably in most situations be a villain. However, the character would be necessary to not act completely random and out of whack. Of course, the character is still a manifestation of ethos, and would probably be backing up Thomas's friends, family, and those he trusts. Ethos would perhaps speak of them as if they were perfect, and treat them as his idols. However, such a character may not be relevant these days. Thomas is out of the closet and makes sure most of those around him knows. He openly displays his quirks, and he is most likely aware that he wouldn't be as popular as he is today if he had hidden away his quirks. When it comes to interactions with other characters, I imagine that this ethos character might work a bit alongside Virgil. Patton would perhaps be a bit scared of Ethos, as Ethos disregards Thomas's emotions. However, I guess Patton would like Ethos's putting Thomas's friends in such a high regard. Logan would probably be frustrated by Ethos, as Ethos disregards logic. When it comes to Deceit, I don't know what would happen, as Deceit is a very new character. Roman would probably agree with Ethos when it comes to placing Thomas's close ones in high regard. However, I like to imagine that Roman and Ethos arguing whether or not Thomas should conform to society would cause a fair bit of anxiety in social situations and push Thomas to avoid those situations altogether. Anyway, I think I should end the video there before I start psychoanalyzing Thomas too much. If Thomas were to use any of the ideas presented in this video, I would be flattered. However, that seems awfully unlikely. Regardless, Thomas, if you're watching this video, you have my permission to use any of the ideas I have presented here. However, I'd like a shout out if you do, so that I can know if I contributed to the series or if you came up with similar ideas on your own. I just needed to get these ideas out there and out of my head. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and welcome back next time. Whenever that is. Funny thing, turns out there is another video today. I would really appreciate if you clicked on the box to the right that is about to come up here in a moment. It will only take about 2.5 minutes out of your time, and I would really appreciate if you had a look at it. Thank you.